In Cologne, everything is possible. How can I say my heart is now still...
You have goosebumps.
Yeah, this thing, how can he bring for the team this fight modus?
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Ooh, into the net.
She does it again.
Yes, Van Magdeburg are the champions of Europe. Put something here. She has a game. Across the keeper. What a comeback!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time to talk handball again, and we've watched them play, we've watched them fail, we've watched them win, and we're watching them go to Cologne right now, just like we did with Víctor Tomàs. How many times?
I think I was 7 times in Cologne. I'm pretty sure it was 7, but I couldn't say 100%. Something like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Just at some point you start to lose track.
Yes,
It just gets normal, you know.
So I retired 2020 and started at 2010. So yes, I think it was 7 times.
Okay,
Those 10
okay.
years. Yeah.
And I mean, the other guy, he is always going to the finals too, but just on the beach on the other side. I am very intrigued to see how many more he has in them, but for sure there's at least one. Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Vilstrup, how's it going?
I'm very good. Never been to a Final Four in Cologne, only to the European Championship with the two of you guys. So I'm only attending when you guys are. So, but I'm good. Back from Croatia. I've been there the last 5 days. So finally got a little bit of a tan, actually.
We can see it in your skin.
You finally get your sleigh back, the summer sleigh. But yes, still, how many more finals are there in your body?
Well, we spoke about earlier that we don't brag about, trophies and stuff like that. But
You
I have
do.
to admit,
You do.
once again, we got a second place, again. It's a disaster. I have to say,
Nothing
it's a
to be sad
disaster.
about. Was it the first
Yeah.
tournament of the season for you?
It was the first tournament of the season, yeah. There's not that much positive to say about it besides that we made it to the final, and yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's
starting
it.
at the second place is already a statement, and then you still got room for improvement. So I just see a lot of positive things there.
Well, hopefully, as you say, there are more to come in terms of finals since there's a European Championship coming up in July, and then we have a national training camp in Sweden in a couple of days. So yeah, hopefully more to come, as you say.
We'll see. But for sure, we have seen the guy that I'm just about to introduce in a bunch of finals. He is the golden boy. He is one of the most phenomenal players that Víctor Tomàs has ever seen playing, just as the whole package as he was describing it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's call him in. Iker Romero, how's it going?
Hey, hello, good morning. Thank you very much for your words, but I am not this one. Victor is much more legend like me. I can be more legend in another aspect, but not in handball. That's for sure.
Yeah, Victor, how come that you say that Iker Romero is actually the biggest legend that you ever played with? I mean, there were some other ones that you shared the stage with.
Yes, I mean the whole package. He as a player and as a individual, he is a great guy. We had a lot of fun playing together in Barcelona. A lot of nice histories that we can't explain here in the podcast, but we are having a lot of fun when we meet each other and we, remember all things like old people is doing, talking about the past, And yeah, he's a great guy. When he was already a star, he treated me very well when I was a kid, beginning in the team, and I'm so happy and proud to have him as a friend and to have played with him, because I think he was one player that everybody's going to remember in handball world, not only in Spain but also in other countries like Germany, France, or countries that love handball.
Yeah, most definitely. Actually, what's the last trophy that you guys won together?
Whew.
The Champions League, I think in 2011 in Cologne, I would say, because after that I was living to Berlin. I think when I am right, or maybe later was the Spanish League too, but this one.
Yeah, I think in 2011. Yeah, I think the last championship that was played in 2011 was the Final Four.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. So good memories, and bringing you guys back together is always a good idea.
Just a normal thing, Bengt.
Yeah,
Just
of course.
But to be true, for respond the thing that Victor say, and thank you very much. Is maybe sounds like a joke, but I am sure that Victor has the same opinion that we cannot remember how much the finals we played together, lose or wins or trophies or wins or win. But we still remember 20 years ago how we was together, the life, enjoying this friendship that we have together, Victor, me, all the team in the national team in Barcelona. That we have 100 histories that now we can remember for the same time, and still now for sure we are thinking about the same things, Victor and me. And probably when we ask us how much trophies or how much final we win or lose, or how much games we play, we will not remember the half, the middle of this one. But at the end, that is humble, I think, and that is the life that is the most important. The relationships that we have, the moment that we enjoy together, and the moment that we will enjoy in the future.
Yeah, because I mean, right now, both of you guys are still working in handball. The one more on the media side and the player agent side, and the other one actually took a turn and well, is training some top tier teams, SG BBM Bietigheim in the Bundesliga, and as we heard lately, taking over the Austrian national team. Exciting times, Iker. How did that happen?
Yeah, to be true was going really fast. I think the first contact with Patrick was, I think I don't remember, but I think 1 month ago. 1 month ago, after that, they knew that Alex Pajovic will lead the national team after this qualification, and they were speaking with me. And to be true, was really really fast, because I was really in the first moment surprised, and the second one was something that I wanted for sure make, and I am really really happy and really proud that I can be the next national trainer for Austria. It's really really amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a big achievement, but at first, maybe from your perspective, what kind of task will await you there, and what are the ambitions with Austria?
Yeah, these things really I wanted to speak a little bit later, because for the first one, this week is a really really important week for the national team, with these two games, with important games for the qualification for the next Euro. And I will for focus on full respect for the team. The second one for full respect too, because Alex Pajovic, the last two games in this week for the national team, he was and he's making amazing job on the players too. And I wanted to let this focus now a part of me. I understand, of course, that we was making last week official, and we will have the press conference, and now we make the postcard. Everything that I can respond, I will. But I wanted to speak about the project, something that more personally after this week, that the time for Alex will be qualified. I hope qualified or not for the Austria. But really, I am really excited. And after that, we can speak, because I am really happy, and I see really one team with so much quality, so much ambition. I don't know how can I say in English, a process that they develop to process. I see one thing, that they are really much fun together. They are really no one national team, so like one family. Not only the players, the staff, the Fervante, the national team, everybody that's working this team, and I see something that I want one part of this project to be. So I am really, really happy that I can make that.
Absolutely understandable. I still need to ask one or two questions about the Austrian national
Yeah,
team, though.
we can. Yeah, of course. Everything that I can respond that is not interrupt.
You can ask whatever you want, Bengt, and Iker is going to answer whatever he wants. So
Sounds fair.
On the middle of the times, I will not understand, Nate.
Well, you can't pull that excuse on me, because if you switch over to German, then well, I'm here. But that's that's a different topic. But yeah, actually, they Austria, they demonstrated what they are capable of doing in January 2024. Especially now that you're talking about the upcoming Euro. The last Euro was the first time in a long time that the spotlight was put on Austria. I think they were just 1 point shy of actually reaching the semifinals. From your perspective, how much potential is there in the team to actually make that final step and reach a Final Four, a semifinal eventually?
I see a lot of potential. Really, I think everybody see a lot of potential, but not only for the last tournament. I think in the last 3-4 years, maybe more. They was really going step by step. You see how much players are playing in the best teams in Germany, with really potential. I say European quality, so top players in Europe. I would say. Plus a lot of young players that they are coming in Germany or they are growing up in Austria and they are developing, that I see that in the next year, these young players that now they are in the step to send the young for the first team, they will try, and I see really, really potential for the future and for, of course, for the present. I see too that we can say also that the handball in Europe, they are a lot of countries that they are also developed. Now is for 10 years, you have always these 4, 5, 6 national teams that everybody was thinking, okay, they are the top 5. And after that, it was one space between these top 5 and the rest. But now I will say Denmark, of course, and after that, maybe France. Okay, they are in 2 levels, 1 or 2 levels up for the rest, I think, in my opinion. But these 3, 4, 5 positions that before was also there, they are a little bit down on now potentials like Austria, of course, but you see also potentials like Italy, you see potentials like always they was no counting, or the Portugal that they say what, and they are fighting also for the semi-final. I think that now in Europe are 10, 12 national teams that nobody will be surprised that they are right for one, I don't know, fourth final or something like that in one tournament.
as Iker says, I completely agree that at this moment, I would say there is two national teams that are a little bit in front of the rest, which are Denmark, the first one, and France, the other one. And as Iker said, there is a group of 8, 9, 10 countries that are there, and everybody can compete against everybody. And in one good day, they can also win against Denmark and France. But now that everything is more global and players are playing around, also Brazilian, Argentinian, and Chilean players from Egypt, a lot now they are going out from Egypt. Everything is more global. What kind of impact do you think it's going to have in the Austrian league and in the Austrian national team, that players can go away from the league and play in another leagues? Do you think it's going to be positive or negative for the national team?
I think really, Victor, I think it is really, really positive. I think it's really positive. Of course, they are growing a lot of young players that they are playing in the top teams in Austria. And now the Austrian league, they are developing really, really, really good. But you see that Austria, of course, is geographic is really okay. We are in the border with Germany, is the same language, almost similar culture, and it's really fast to integrate in the Bundesliga teams. Now, for 5, 6 years, you have only 1 or 2 players that they was playing here. two, three players in the national team that they was playing in Germany. But now, if I don't can't say now, but I will say 12, 13 players or that's like that that they
Yeah,
are playing in the
it's a
best
lot.
teams.
It's a lot. Bilic, Hutacek, Mostel, Herborge. Yeah, a lot of players are.
Allsteider, Katic that he has, Franco Lastros, every so a lot of players. I of course I Tobias Wagner. So all the players that they are playing in the national team and now they are playing and really in the very good teams and developing really good, and that will be, I hope, that continue for the future. But I also say that for all it's also really important that not only come the Austrian players to the German league. It's really important that continue the developing in the Austrian league, but they are really making really good work, and I will try to help that the young players develop and speak with a lot of with all the teams in Austria to help us to that the young players take this more the quality that's growing up and develop. But really, I'm really happy and really success, and I think that will be really fun.
It does sound like a fun task, but it sounds like a very fulfilling task as well, filling your schedule in the week, anyways. Even though from 2025 onwards, so in summer, you're coaching Bietigheim and the Austrian national team. So aren't you a little bit afraid that the upcoming year is going to be super stressful?
No, not really. Not really. I will say that I am really thank you. I will say dankbar. Thank you for Bietigheim. Thankful for Bietigheim with the team, with the club, with the players. I am here my fourth year, and we was speaking last year to make one project with till 2026, and for me was the one of the most important things that we were speaking with the national team that I wanted to finish my contract here. I was promised for the club, I was promised for my players, and I am one man that I keep my work. That is the most important what one man have personally, and I will make that because I still have a lot of Chile metas,
Goals.
goals, a lot of goals here. The most important right now to stay in the first league, and I am not worried. And also, I want to say that I am have really much fun in Bietigheim, and I will really much fun in Austria. And when you work with fun, when you make something that you like, is much is not you will not be tired. So I think it's a lot of work, but if you make with all the power, everything will be worse, and I am sure.
Now that you have been talking about Bietigheim and the season, we want to go a little bit to the Champions League and your past with Berlin a little bit
God
after.
damn it,
But I
Victor.
want.
I had such a great transition over to the Champions League topic. You're taking that
Sorry,
away
my
from
friend.
me.
But I wanted to ask you how it has been this first season for Bietigheim in first Bundesliga with a great start, and you won a lot of points at the beginning, and then you had some injuries, you had some difficulties. And at what point are you at this moment, and what's your feeling on how the team has been playing and competing in the best league in the world?
Yeah, it's a good question, Victor. You know me. I am always, and I will be always a one optimism, positive man. The first one, I am really thankful, and we are really happy to be part for the Bundesliga, the strongest league for in the world. We come for the second league, and nobody give us one chance to stay here. We was starting amazing. We take fast 6-7 points that nobody was expected that, and that is the reason that still may we are realistic possibility to stay in the league. Something that for 8 months really only we was believing of that, and I could understand too. Everybody knows, everybody, so the players and we and the club, we knew that will be such a difficult goal to stay in the league, but it's realistic, and we are realistic, and we still dream, of course, and we will keep fighting till the end. Still, we have no 7 games more. We are 2 points behind Erlangen and 4 behind Stuttgart. We have to play again Stuttgart and Erlangen, and Stuttgart again Erlangen too. So we have a lot of games that everything will be possible, and you know me, we will work and we will believe till the end. And to be true, I am really optimistic that we will survive and we will
Success,
stay in
yeah.
the league. Success. I know, but you see how strong the Bundesliga is. 2 teams that they are playing in the Champions League. That both teams qualified for the Champions League in Cologne. 4 teams was qualified for the EHF. 3 of them we are in the final 4, and one of them needs not because they are playing against. So we are playing against monsters, against Panzer. So and still we are alive. So I am really happy and really, really, really optimistic that we
I
will.
just want to make a comment, Bengt, and then you can take over again. But now that I'm listening, Iker, I can see in him as a coach the same thing that he had as a player. Maybe you will not agree, Iker, because you have a good perception of yourself, but maybe you were not the strongest, you were not the fastest one, and you were not maybe the most intelligent one in the playing court. But man,
Great
your
compliment,
mentality.
Victor. All right, next
But
question.
no, but
Thank you,
but
thank you.
but but let me finish and then you can talk. Yeah. But
You're
your
right, you're
mentality,
right.
you know, your mentality, you when you went to the playing court, you always thought you were the best, and you always wanted the ball in the important moments for you because you had this winning mentality. And I can see now as a coach, after you said that you can give this positiveness and this mentality to your players as a coach. And I think this is very good for a group, that they see the coach that is convinced that they can success in such a difficult task that is staying in the Bundesliga. So I just wanted to say that I like that I see in you the same things that I saw in you when you were a player. I see the same as a coach, and I hope that you never lose this because I think it's very good.
Thank you, Victor. You are right in the first, and you are right in the second one, but you are right. And to be honest, it's the same like a trainer. When I see my colleagues, the trainers in the Bundesliga, in the national team, they are more much. A lot of trainers, they are wow. Say I didn't see that. They are better than me. I cannot. It's not for me one side to say wow. Are so much trainers that they are better. Maybe what is the plus that I have is that I always believe in me and I like a play. So I think that the same thing that I have, the good thing that I have like a player, I try to keep like a trainer. And one thing more that I like also every day to learn, and then every day to when you fall down, the fastest possible, stand up and keep going and keep fighting and keep fighting is the thing that I was always making my life, and I will continue with my idea for sure.
And that is a great statement, especially looking at the last weekend that was super special for you. So you did have your comeback to Füchse Berlin, if one wants to put it like that. At first, talk us through your emotions last weekend. How was it to be back in Berlin?
That was really, really special. when I was in the hall with the Fuchsia Maximili Halle, and all the fans they was telling my name before the game, and I was looking how nice the people was with me. Mm, How can I say my heart
You
now
have
still?
goosebumps.
Yeah, this thing, wow, that was really amazing every time, and I wish always the best, of course, for Berlin. After that the game start, we was keeping surviving 40 minutes, I think, but they are monsters. So I say that they are in another level, and we cannot finish the game to fighting. So in the not a lot of goals, I mean, but we was keeping the 60 minutes fighting, but was really special. Special was really nice. Every time that I was in Berlin was a special one.
Yeah, so maybe let's talk a little bit about Füchse Berlin. So you played there from 2011 until 2015. You did have a quite successful time with them, to say the least. Made it to the EHF Champions League for the first time in the club history, and then immediately making it to Cologne there. And that's basically what Füchse Berlin achieved now too. So they did come back after 11 years being away from the competition, and immediately back to Cologne, showing that they are one of the strongest teams in the world right now. But now that you just played against them, at what stage are they right now? So are they in a shape to actually win the EHF Champions League?
Yeah, yeah. In my opinion, in Cologne, everything is possible. Everybody say that, but it's the truth. So all the four teams have possibilities to win this trophy, and when they say somebody say no, this team not, they don't have not too much it. Everybody have the chance to win there, and in the moment when you see Real, in the moment how Berlin is playing with sheep playing in constant playing, when the final four is this weekend, maybe for a lot of them will be the favorite, but how much times win the favorite in call? Not too much, not too much. So I remember 2 3 times. One time Barcelona, I think in 2015
14,
or
15. Yeah,
14
15.
15, that was that, or yeah, but 1 or 2 times more. After that is 2 games in 24 hours. I always say the goalkeepers duo that's more safe in these 2 games. 80% of the times they win. So it's only 2 games, 24 hours, sip, belief, un form, tax form for this game.
I agree. No, I agree with you that at this moment, right now, Berlin, in my opinion, is, I would say, by far the team that is more in shape. And when I see them play, everything it's it's flowing, and the defense is tough. The transition defense attack is fast, and this trio with Gitzel, Lichtlein, and Anderson, the way they play, moving all the time without the ball, with the ball, it's just amazing the way they play. But the final four is in 1.5 months, and at this moment, the team who is in less shape, I would say, it's Barcelona. And you know this feeling sometimes they arrive there with no pressure, and this is much better for them. So as Iker said, everything can happen in Cologne. I think we could make a slogan with this in Cologne, because it's really true, you know. But Iker, now that we are seeing Berlin like this, what change, or what do you think is making Berlin to play that good? And is the atmosphere in the club, the policy that they have also with the young players, is that we found a good mix of players and coach and way to play that make them to be so strong at this moment?
I think everything that you say, not only one, everything. I know that a lot of people, when we are speaking about Berlin, say the first thing that they say is one name, Matthias Gitzel. And it's true. It's amazing, this player. So I was 2 days before. I see a lot of almost all the games in Berlin. But when you see in live, he's now in the moment, so the best player of the world, far away for the second one. How he can make everything. But it's not only Matthias Gitzel, because not only with Matthias Gitzel you can have this success. I think the club is working till a lot of years really, really good. I mean, the young players with the best quality young players in Germany and in Europe, they are buying really good too. That is one team from Bob Hanning, Stefan Kresmar, and everybody there. They are really good eyes with the by Matthias Gitzel, Anderson, Lichla, Marcenic, Dahl, all the players that they are in the. I always forget you something when you say it, but they keep that. I think was a little bit risk in the beginning of the season because, in my opinion, a few teams they are more players, but they say, okay, I will bet for a little, so for 12
Less players. Yeah, they would invest more money in less players.
less players, and they say, okay, when they play stay healthy in the end of the season, they are machines. I think Jaron Triver are making really amazing work too. He know very well what he want. He stayed with Matthias Gitzel gegen Bietigheim 58 minutes in the games when we are that. So they are playing, and they are in this what move. One thing is also true. In the moment, they are going for more than 60 attacks in a game. We was playing more than 60 attacks in a game. That means that in 2 games in call, that is, that is only the theory. But if you go for 60, that are really, really not too much teams that they can survive with this develop with this quality, 120 attacks in one game. That is really much. I see that the tempo, the fast way that they play is really hard and really difficult to survive. So I see there's only one tip for the another 3 games that they are playing really amazing. But like Victor say, the final 4 in call is in 5 or 6 weeks or 5 weeks.
Yes,
So it's
1.5
still a lot
months.
of 1.5 months, 6 weeks. A lot of time for Barcelona to prepare these 2 games. A lot of time. So, or that maybe for the first only the semi-final. Barcelona is Barcelona. So we are speaking about, but our heart is also Victor, and do we know very well what Barcelona can make in this time of things, and I think will be for me one of the success Final Fours in the last years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, on one hand side, 60 attacks in one game, that means you can even have 20 saves and still concede 40 goals. But that is a different topic. Let's stay with Barcelona here for a second, because I do like that topic. Just recently, they lost on home soil to Saget, to Granollers, just in the final phase of the season. I personally get the feeling it's a different Barcelona season this year. Or what's your impression of the team?
Yeah, you are right. In one point, you can say, "Wow, are a lot of doubts about what will happen." A lot of, and another thing is also dangerous for Magdeburg and then after that we will see of Berlin or Nantes, because Barcelona have now 6 weeks to prepare this game. The Spanish league is big. They have the cup in Spain, of course, 2 weeks because there's also good that they play the cup before this. But Barcelona is Barcelona. Barcelona for me has the best trainer in the world, that is Carlos. Barcelona has also 5-6 players that they are in the packet for the best players in the world. When you make together and this works, they can win for sure the Champions League. For sure, the Champions League. They are underrated, but you see the 2 games against Szeged. Szeged was really, really good, and they are making an amazing job. They was winning 10 goals in Paris when I remember good. I don't remember it was 10 or 9 goals.
That's true. Yeah.
But Barcelona is Barcelona. We cannot underrate Barcelona. No, they will compete for sure, and that will be great. But yeah, it's true that it's a little bit for everybody, a little bit wow when they lose. I think 2 games in the Spanish league and 1 draw, right? Something like that.
One even
That's
game against Logroño. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, in the last 50 year. But at the end, I speak with Carlos and I speak. At the end, they win the league. They will win, I think, the cup. They are in the final for 4 years, for Carlos, four, and they won 2 for the last 3. We cannot forget Barcelona. I will not.
Yeah, well, I mean, probably no one's going to forget them, that's for sure. But they do get a difficult task in the semifinal because Magdeburg went through a season with ups and downs, but still you get the feeling that they did get in shape just in time to, well, maybe even go for the title once again, just like in 2023. But on the other side, the rest of the season is still super long for Magdeburg, so they do gotta make up those 2 games that they missed, and it's 8 more games that they need to play before even going to Cologne. What kind of factor will that play in their preparation for Barcelona?
I would say Magdeburg, I don't know the words in English, but first of all, for the trainer, the biggest respect. How can he bring for the team this fight modus, this believing, this fight that they fight? They know what they do. A lot of injuries this year. A lot of injuries. I don't know how much injuries they have in this year. Doesn't matter. Another camp
Almost
they
everybody.
play. Almost everybody. Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe it were 3-4 players that not.
Saugstrup was not injured. Serradilla was not injured. And I think Mertens was not injured.
Maybe 4 or 5, maybe, but not even more. But the trainer is the defect. So Magdeburg is the one club. But for me, right now, I will say that's more win mentality. You will say, yeah, but Berlin too. But how much difficult Magdeburg this year have, and still are in the fight for winning the Bundesliga. It's only 1 point, and they win against Veszprém for 5 months. Maybe for everybody, one of the favorites for the Champions League, or maybe minimum for being called. Everybody was taking this time, but they take a draw in Magdeburg and they couldn't win. And when you see the game Veszprém Magdeburg in Veszprém, you understand for sure what I mean. Of course, what I mean. This fight keeping 60 minutes, 60. And they was -3. They kept fighting, believing. You give the chance, they make. That is Magdeburg.
I think the mentality of the team has grown a lot this season, because when they were in the worst moment of the season, they had to play against Kielce outside, against Melsungen in the league at home, and at this moment it was Bergendal injured, it was O'Sullivan injured, it was Lagergren injured, it was Magnusson injured. Christiansson was injured in the after Melsungen, and they still won the games, because then Damgaard, which is not participating that much, came out and made amazing game. Also, Beba was playing a lot. So the team has, grown a lot. And I think that Bennett now, I said this before in another episode of the podcast, but I think that Bennett at this moment believe in more players than he believed at the beginning of the season. And now he can use more players. Even though he likes to play with not a lot of players, but now I think that he believes that he can use all of the squad.
I understand total, Victor. I was not speaking. I was not speaking about that with Bennett, but I think he believes in everybody, but he want to play with a little. So he believes to play with 8, but I think he believes in all the 16 players, because if not, you will feel that people, players like Damgaard or sometimes Weber or sometimes Seher, they are not a focus because they don't have the believing for the trainer. But they come in the fair and they are focused. And they know that say, okay, maybe I am 4 months, I don't play 1 minute. And after that, say, you play. Dangar, you are doing. Serradilla, you are in the first line, you play. I think that everybody knows how Bennett think about the decisions or not too much rotation, 8 pom. But I am sure that everybody believe in him and he believe in everybody, because if not, it will not work. Because like a player, when you have the feeling that the trainer don't believe in you, when you are in the court after 3 months, you will say, okay, no, they don't have this. But Angar are in the court and shoot 12 shoot in 10 minutes. And he still have the believing for the trainer and never come here. So I think he has really respect how he managed the game, the team.
I do feel like we could keep this analysis going for like 3 more hours to talk about each and every aspect of all the participants, because it is a big EHF Final Four that is just coming up. But actually, we need to cut it short here a little bit. But of course, we still want to give respect to the 4th participant too. What's your impression of Nantes? Just quickly to sum it up here.
I will be sincere, or
honest. I will be honest.
Honest, you see how my language now.
Yeah, you're doing completely fine, juggling between Spanish, German, English, and all that fun stuff.
In the quarter of final, Sporting against Nantes, I was thinking that Sporting will go to the Final Four. After the first game, I was thinking that the Sporting will go in the Final Four, but I was saying the game Sporting Nantes. And I was really surprised. Not really surprised, but surprised in the same way like I speak about Magdeburg. They have a lot of moments that they say, okay, now it's Sporting, but they keep fighting. Really good coach for the trainer, in my opinion. I don't know him personally, but he was really making what good. And the team was playing like really, really good team. And like I say, Nantes is in the position now that they go to call, and nobody think, or nobody, not too much people think that they can make that. But like before, 30 minutes before, they have the same possibilities. They have to play the same good things and the same in the same level that they were speaking about Sporting, and they can beat everybody.
Fair enough. After all that analysis, just one last question. Who's winning it?
And you need to say one name. You need to say something. Not saying, yes, play the violin and everything. You need to say one thing.
Yeah, but that is one question that you always say. You have to say something. How you live more, Papa or Mama? But you have to say something.
And who do you love more, Papa or Mama?
I will say that I want one final that I want. This is Barcelona against Berlin. And after that, I want that the best team win.
Of course. The media coaching is not forgotten after all those years of Apple.
Yeah, I know what I want, but let me Let me not to say.
Yeah. It's completely fine. We want you to keep your sympathies in both cities, so that is completely fair. Anyway, thank you for your expertise. Thank you for your time. It has been super amazing talks with you. Best of luck with the upcoming tasks with Austria, but at first, of course, with the task to save Bietigheim and keep them in the Bundesliga.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't know which language did he spoke, but it was a great talk.
Yeah, it was actually super fun because he always just dropped in some German words there. But I think he's doing amazing. Yeah, but to be fair, he's fluent in French, he's fluent in Spanish, he's fluent in English, and he's probably at this point fluent in German because he is taking over the Austrian national team, and he is a great guy. That's what he has shown us. Unfortunately, we didn't have too much time to talk about all the 4 participants. That's why we are opening our Machineseeker EHF Champions League talks here with the team that actually fell short a little bit. Nantes, they did end up going to the EHF Final Four. Martin, what role would you put Nantes in Cologne this year?
Oh, I think, was it in 2018 they were runners-up and they participated? Was it in 21 as well? I was actually the only saying that they weren't going through against Vístrup from the 3 of us. So I didn't have that much faith in them earlier in terms of injuries and stuff like that. But I have to say the Min, that Amerik Min, that he came back was a huge factor for them. And them going to Portugal and winning, I'm impressed by. But if I have to look at it in the bigger picture, I would say that they are the outsiders of the tournament. Not only because they don't have the home crowd and the home advantage in some of the games. Now they're going to Cologne and it's equal from everyone. And I think their home advantage is quite big because of the achievements they have done there earlier. But I see them as the underdogs, if I have to be honest.
Bengt, somehow Martin remembers his prediction Wisla Plock Nantes, but he doesn't remember his prediction of Sporting being in the Final Four. Just suddenly he forgot about it, you know?
Yeah, to be fair, I slightly wanted to drop all the predictions from the beginning of the season under the table because I didn't predict any German team to go through. I predicted Sporting to be in there. So, well, let's maybe not open that topic again. But yeah, I mean, I wasted all my predicting luck on the Women's Euro where I finished, I think it was top 2 in Germany in our prediction game. So, well, that's at least something. But yeah, let's stay here with Nantes for a little bit, because well, Iker said it that he expected Sporting to go through, and on one hand, I'm wondering, Victor, would you have agreed on that prior to the quarterfinal, and on the other hand, is it still deserved for Nantes to be there?
It's completely deserved. I think that when we spoke about this playoff, I think we all agreed it was a very even playoff. The thing was that Sporting has beaten every single team in their home arena, but I was actually expecting a very equal playoff, and I think Nantes I didn't, because I have seen them play a lot, and I expected them, you know, to be fighting until the last moment, even though the game in France was even. I thought they could do it, and they did it. So I think Nantes, they have a very, very balanced team. If they wouldn't have had these injuries in the playmaker position, they wouldn't need to sign another player, even though this player is also giving them some results at this moment. But I think that the team they have is very balanced, that they have 2 players that they can rely on in every position. And I think Nantes stands up in the Final Four with nothing to lose, no pressure, and enjoy the moment. And I think this makes them very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the underdogs in Cologne, they are always worthy for their very own story. Martin, how big do you see the chances for Nantes to actually aim for something big?
Now is the question if it's about time that I switch over to Nantes, or I keep sticking with that they're not making it through. No, I don't see them actually winning against Fischer Berlin, having in mind what they have achieved so far in the season. With that said, then obviously it's possible for them to cope with Nantes. I'm just curious about. We spoke about it earlier. What should the other teams do about Gitzel? Because every team are preparing themselves, and if it's not beating him up, or doing man covering, or what you would call it in the middle of the field, then yeah, uh, there's just people that are preparing themselves, watching videos, and even though he keeps, getting great numbers and delivering, so the key factor is to not only stop Matthias Gisel, but Fischer Berlin in general. And the only thing talking in Nantes' favorites for me is that Fischer Berlin has the Bundesliga also to worry about with games coming up. I see Fischer Berlin as favorites, if I have to be honest, and pretty clear favorites also.
Yeah, and I mean, the Bundesliga topic is always one that is like to be opened. But on the other side, we do see Magdeburg getting stronger and stronger throughout the season, even though I personally feel like the stress they have is just getting bigger and bigger. But the injured ones, they are hopefully coming back from Magdeburg, since we want to see the best players on the court. Just when it comes down to the final tasks here. Before we switch it over to Magdeburg and Füchse Berlin, I wanted to have a look at Nantes' opponent in the quarterfinals here, because Sporting, they did play an amazing tournament. I am super. I'm actually a little bit sad that we don't get to see them in Cologne, because it was super fun to see them play all season long. Victor, what do you see in Sporting's midterm development?
So, to be honest, I was not expecting them to perform at this level in this first participation in the competition. And I think it was exciting to see them play. I think they had bad luck with the injury of Kiko Costa, even though he was able to play. But I could feel he was not at his best shape physically. I think that his kind of game, his kind of playing, he needs to feel comfortable 100% in his 1-against-1 and the way he's playing. But I think it was exciting to see them. I think they are working very good. They know which players they want to sign to play this handball that they are playing. So I think that in the middle term, it's a team that we have to think about when we speak about Final Four participants. I think it's a team that has shown it's in the top level. Very difficult to beat in Portugal, but also with a lot of character playing outside. So I think it's a team that can be and will be in the top of the teams in Europe the next 3, 4, 5 years, the minimum.
Yeah, right. We'll see. And I mean, that long-term development needs time to process. Is being shown in another team that actually failed to make it to Cologne yet again. Of course, we're talking about Veszprém here, because, in the end, how can we summarize it? Is it just unfortunate that they ended up with Magdeburg, and Magdeburg somehow always steps up towards the end of the season? Because eventually we're just talking about how close it is once again that they made it, and it doesn't get much closer than that game against Magdeburg. We have to be honest about that. So they drew in the first leg, and it was just a 1-goal defeat on home soil. But yeah, what is missing, Martin?
Oh, what is missing with Veszprém? Because that's what we always speak about whenever we speak about Veszprém, is that now it's their turn to make it to the Final Four and have a huge chance to win the title. And Yeah, the earlier years, I would say that people were often speaking about, saves and goalkeepers. But on the other hand, they have Corrales in goal, which is an amazing goalkeeper. And yeah, obviously also because of injuries, they have to call back Palasic, who was on loan. Um, just to be fairly honest, I wouldn't say that that was the biggest problem in this game. And drawing in Germany, as you said, and then going to Hungary with a draw, and they were they were up with 4 goals, in the end. So it was also quite of a comeback. Yeah, actually both games, yeah, also. So it was, can you say, quite a comeback for Magdeburg to also make it. And yes, I don't know. In general, I actually also thought that Fabregas, he was totally on fire in both of the games. I don't know how many goals he scored as a line player. Was it 15, 16 on nearly as many shots? And then him top performing as a key player and some others, and they still not making it. But it's the little things in the end, Gisli, the last second goal, one extra save, one less technical mistakes, but. If you asked me before the game in Hungary, I would have said that West Ham were the favorites and they would have made it through because of the home advantage. But here we are again speaking about why they didn't succeed yet again. And yeah, it's some way a kind of a curse hanging over West Ham. How to get rid of it is a good question,
If we
actually.
think about the away games on these quarterfinals, Berlin, they beat Aalborg in Denmark. Nantes, they beat Sporting in Portugal. Szeged, they beat Barcelona in Barcelona. And Magdeburg, they beat Veszprém in Veszprém. I think it's the first time in history that this is happening.
Oh, that would have
You
been
know?
something to be prepared for, but actually, I didn't end up preparing that one. But yeah, actually, it's interesting to see. That is for sure, because well, after all, you just see that Veszprém didn't make it to Cologne once again, and you're ended up with the question. It's not the fans. It's not the squad. They have Xavi Pascual as the coach. It's not the coach. Is it just time that they need to grow as a team? Is that maybe the thing that Veszprém doesn't allow their team to have?
It's a very curious case because I think Veszprém has done everything in the past 20 years to win the competition, and they deserve it. And I think it would be very good for Handball that they win this competition at some point. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I really want them to win at some point, close, because I think that it's good for Handball that there is clubs and organizations like Veszprém that leave Handball, that invest in the team. The whole town is leaving because of the team. So it's a very curious case. I think that at this point, and I know Xavi Pascual very well, I think he's the right coach to take them to the victory. I think he needs a little bit more time to make the team he really wants, to see in the next 2-3 years what changes are going to be made in the team. And I hope that the club has some patience with him, because I think he's the right coach for them.
I do think so too, because it was a great season, and all summer long or all season long we have been talking about how good Veszprém is looking, and they did end up making a good job, but just not good enough. Yeah.
They have been defeated by Magdeburg, so Magdeburg. It's very difficult to play against Magdeburg. They of course they have some tactics as a team, but it's a team that it's very difficult to prepare a game against them, because the players that they have, they use a lot the one against one, and then they decide very good. Christiansson, Magnusson, Lagergren, Felix Klar. It's amazing team, and they are winners in 2021, and this is a sport. Everybody can win, everybody can lose, but they lost against a super team like Magdeburg.
Yeah, actually, that Magdeburg topic that you opened, I like it a lot because we do need to lose some words on Magdeburg because it is just insane how always, when it comes towards the end of the season, they are suddenly just getting their strength back. 2 years ago when Magdeburg won it, we have always been talking about zombie Magdeburg with one body part flying, and they still run around and are just getting back to full strength. And I personally have no idea where it's coming from. Martin, do you have any? Is Bennett Wiegert Harry Potter?
Yeah, he might be. He might be, but I'm actually also a little bit shocked because in the first game also Matthias Musche went out with a very horrible injury, and all the best for him to come back. But then they put in another German national player, Mertens, and he also delivered from the first minute in the first game. And I think Lagergren was on fire also, and. Yeah, I don't know what he keeps coming up with. It seems like whenever they're missing one, another one steps up. But for sure, it was very good for them to have Felix Klar back and also Lagergren. And now they also have Omaengi and Gisli there. So they need maybe O'Sullivan back to full strength, 100%, and then Oscar Bergendal and Sender. But I don't know what he is giving the players in Magdeburg in terms of, clutching or being there in crucial moments. Because one thing I'm also noticing is that even though that they have injuries, a player like Mikael Damgaard is not even close to getting in onto the court. He has his tracksuit all the time, and he's been there for 10 years. And he's also a player that likes to be in the crucial moments. So Magdeburg are there once again, and a huge respect to them because having in mind how they performed in the Champions League earlier group stage with the injuries we were speaking about, that it was very intense with them and Kelce, Kolstad, and was it also Zagreb being in there, if I remember correctly? There were a lot of teams battling for the last spot or the two last spots. So they made it once again, and they are there and playing against Barcelona in the semifinal. So it's impressive what they keep doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they are a true and real danger to Barcelona because Barca isn't having the most stable part of their season right now. And I'm wondering a little bit where this is coming from because we don't know that from Barcelona to actually lose 2 games on home soil just lately, but we have been talking about that already. And I mean, with all the words that are being lost about Barcelona, you still have to acknowledge that they did make it to Cologne for the 7th time in a row. They will go there as the title favorites. They have won the league already. But still, where is that inconsistency coming from, Victor?
I think that in the league, somehow they're mentally switched off a little bit. They knew that at some point they would win the competition, and so they expected to win at home against Granollers in the Catalan derby, but Granollers made an amazing game. And then they went to Valladolid. They also lost the game, but they knew that it was still 7 games to play. So at some point, the league, they just needed 2 more points. So I think that mentally the team switched off a little bit in the league. And they were not having a good feeling, but they went to Szeged and they win by 3. So one really, really good thing that they have is that they compete like animals, the way they went to Hungary with bad feelings after losing a couple of games in the Spanish competition, and to have the balls to go there in front of this full arena and win by 3, that's amazing. So I think it was more a mental thing. And of course, it's an Olympic season. All the teams that we see in the Final Four now have had a lot of players with no rest during summer and during winter. So I think this also can be a factor that made them to lose more points that we are used to see them losing.
Would you say that this is a normal phase in this stage of the season, or because in the last years, I haven't seen that from Barca, to be honest?
It is for everybody, but not for Barça. And I've been telling everybody that, of course, Barça is the favorite number 1, number 2, and number 3 in the Spanish league. But we have seen Vidasoa, for example, playing against Melsungen in the quarterfinals of Europa League. They went to Germany and they lost by 1. And then it's difficult, the Spanish league. It's not that easy, you know. You can lose against teams like Vidasoa, like Granollers, like Torrelavega, Ademar León. But the way that Barça has been performing the last 20 years, it's just amazing. So I would say it's normal. It's a sport, you know. Everybody has 2 legs and 2 arms, like Barcelona players. They are human beings. But Barcelona has compete and made us believe that they are invincible. But they are not.
Fair enough. Martin, do you think they will stabilize as soon as they touch ground on Cologne Bonn Airport?
I do believe they will, and I also, if we have to roast each other a little bit, my prediction as the winner of the Champions League, EHF Machineseeker, is the only one
I
still
think
alive.
that was the right way around.
Yeah, okay, maybe the other way around, the Machineseeker EHF Champions League Truck Squad 24. But yeah, when I look at it also of the games against Pick Szeged, I know that it's the first time since 1997 that Barcelona loses a knockout stage game at Palau de Blaugrana. So that's also a shout out to Pick Szeged. And I also saw another stat, something about the last time Barcelona only scored 9 goals in a game was against Vidasoa in the Spanish league in 2019, which are also a couple of years back. And in general, that leads me to maybe also giving a little bit of a credit to a Pick Szeged side that did very well. Vincent Gerard, very nice to see him coming in, performing. But in the first game, Tobias Thulin was also doing very great in the goal, and that was also one of the reasons. And for me, it's just typical Barcelona that they are being down with 3 goals, and then they bounce back, leaving Hungary with 3 goals win and going back to Spain, and then in a pretty comfortable situation, even though that the second leg was a close one, and yeah, a great game actually in general. So yeah, some of the other things that I also noticed is, for me, whenever I watch Dikamem and the arm is up from a free throw, then he has to be the best in the world whenever the arm's up and 5 guys in a block. And then I keep looking at Timothy Nguzang, and I don't understand why that guy is not playing all the time from the French national team, because he's a monster, and he's probably not the most spectacular one, or the one that, you know, from spectator point of view, how can you say that, the smoothest one to see. But whenever he goes 1 versus 1, people cannot, you know, keep track of him, and his arm is free and he shoots so hard. And I don't know how many years he's been performing in Barcelona. Is it 10 years or something like that? I have huge respect for Timothy Nguzang. I think he's an underestimated player and a key player for Barcelona in general.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, there were a lot of topics in what you just touched there, but there's one that I want to put on the table and into the spotlight here once again, because we haven't been talking about it in the podcast yet. But yeah, the goalkeeper position in Barcelona is crazy. So they did lose Perez de Vargas, but all of a sudden, there's Wojciech Szczesny, Vincent Gerard coming out of retirement and performing on the highest level. So the victory over Szeged, it does carry his name here too, Victor. Where did they pull him from?
Yes, the investment that Barça did in Vincent Gerard is already paid off, you know, because his performance the other day in Barcelona, I think it was in the key moments that he went out. He saved a 7-meter shot from Friemel, and Friemel, he was feeling it that day. You know, he was with a very high percentage of accuracy, and I think it was in the key moments when he appeared, and I don't know if that's the word, but he saved the team somehow. You know. And I have to give credit to the staff that signed Vincent Gerard because nobody saw it coming, and it's proven that it was a very good thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So truly deserved, Martin.
Yeah, it's just that I wanted to say I also think Emil Nielsen was amazing in Hungary, and it's also nice to see Saric Jr., Philip coming in and saving another penalty down there. I think they scored then on the return ball. But even though that's one for the future also and one to watch, but I like the attitude for Vincent Gerard, and as Victor said, with that performance, is already paid back the investment, if you can say it like that. And yeah, it's a nice tribute also, or contribution to the team. Whenever Emil is not there, then you have an experienced goalkeeper who has won a lot earlier in his career, tried a lot, and yeah, maybe that's also giving Emil something, since he's also experienced, but still very young in terms of a goalkeeper age.
Yeah, 100%. Then let's look over to the fourth team in the squad here, which is Füchse Berlin. It's been a long time coming, but after 11 years, they are back in the Machineseeker EHF Champions League, and after 12 years, they're finally back in Cologne. So the last time they had their run ended in the round of 16. I think it was against Atletico Madrid. But now they are back. I mean, a lot has been talked about Gitzel and Anderson, and we have been touching that topic already as well. But Martin, since you have been the one showing off that our prediction Aalborg isn't going through, your fellow Danish side has been beaten by 12 goals. What is Berlin actually doing better than other teams right now?
Yeah, if I have to recall the games, then actually when I was watching the first game, I was, oh my God, the two of you are actually, getting something right in this season, because Aalborg was leading with 13-7, and Niklas Landin was saving a lot of balls and having blocks in the goal, and then suddenly out of nowhere, I think Füchse Berlin scored 30 goals in 41 minutes or something like that, and they were unstoppable. And it's also the thing with Füchse Berlin is quite similar with Magdeburg in terms of the playing style, because they play super fast and they want to run on everything. And yeah, not only we're speaking about Gitzel, but I also have to say the Hakun Westhoff Taigom and Tim Freihöfer was in the first game also delivering at a high level. I think they are on a roll. Füchse Berlin, number one in the Bundesliga, and now qualified for Final Four, which are the first time since 2012, if I recall it correctly. And yeah, then they are on the floor. They play with confidence. They know their role, even though the depth within the squad is not that big. Everyone who's coming in know what to do, and yeah, I'm impressed, because, as I said earlier, people prepare themselves to stop them, and at the moment it seems like it's a very tough job to do. And yeah, that's I have a lot more to say about the two teams, but yeah, Füchse Berlin I'm impressed by.
Yeah, we will get the time for that, but not today, since we are running out of equal time just right now. So, yeah, as a final answer here, as of right now, we are all allowed to change that once again once we go into Cologne. But, Victor, who's winning it?
I gotta go with Barca.
Yeah, well, why do you think about it that long? It's so obvious
Because
that you're gonna go
as
for
I
Barca.
said, as I said before, at this moment, I think Berlin is the team that it's in better shape and it's in better atmosphere and feelings and everything. But I think that Barca is more dangerous when nobody is expecting them. Everybody is expecting them because they are Barcelona, but when they are not arriving in the best shape and all the sound around them, it's going a little bit down, then I think they are.
Yeah, okay. Enough arguments to convince Martin Vilstrup that they're making it?
Well, I would be stupid to change my guess before the season when I'm finally hitting something right here on my guesses. So I'm gonna stick with Barcelona, even though it's tempting to say Füchse Berlin, because I think they, as I said, they look impressive, and the team that scored the most goals in Champions League. But a young coach, Jeroen Siewert, 31 years old, I think also experience and being in Cologne under pressure before. Barcelona can cope better with that. So I'm sticking with Barcelona. No changing here.
Yeah, Barca isn't a stupid take here, but I'm not gonna fulfill you guys here and go to Barca because I need to switch my opinion anyway since Arbor is out. Then, well, let's move over to Berlin. No, Berlin is making it. Berlin is taking home the trophy in the final against Barca, though. So I don't think that Magdeburg will stop them.
We gotta say. I think this Final Four is gonna be exciting. I think there is no a clear favorite like years before, in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward on what's happening because we have seen crazy things, and I think that it's gonna be a really fun weekend of handball.
Most definitely, and we are looking forward to it. That is going to take place in June, and until then there's a lot happening. So there's a Euro draw coming in. We have the EHF finals in Germany that are being played once again. We're going to Budapest for you guys, where we will be live. Oh my god, that was a difficult one, but it's late already. And then of course we're gonna have a look out more specifically on what is gonna happen in Cologne. So a lot of handball coming up this month for you guys, and we will be there. So hopefully you guys tune in when it's time to talk handball again, everybody.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start.
Into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
And Magdeburg are the champions.